think that was Chad. He drops him way down. Some work to do now. We got one on the tabletop. Two on the tabletop. Patience, guys. A 25-minute race. Help him. Exactly. I think some of you would be on help. Leaders down the front straight. Jason, Christian, Anthony, John, Brian, Chad, Carlos, BB, Carlos. Steven Black is now making a move after a rough start, getting up to that 7 spot. There's Jason Truffler on the front straight, and as your leader. Here comes Christian Towick in that second spot. Anthony Bazar in third onto the front straight. Side by side coming around that light pole for that number 4 spot. I don't know how John, Chad, Brian did just wadded up there. Oh, they did in that turn though. Work together, guys. It's a long race, believe me. We still got 2 pit stops to go through. I think Rohan's wearing on me now. I say it's a long race, like he does. 2 down, 23 to go. And Jason coming up. He'll start lapping through the field as he comes by Carlos. Coming on the other Carlos. That's some good racing here, mid-pack. Like John Bryant and Steven Placas right together. Good race right there. Like Chad Phillips getting around Anthony Bazar now, taking over the number 3 spot. Rough start for Chad, rolling on that first lap, making time, trying to catch it back up. So he's now Jason, Christian, Chad, Anthony, John, your top 5. Brian, Steven right there in 6th and 7th. Actually, Steven dropping back a little bit now. Joey up into the number 7. Steven Black is dropping down to the 8. 3 down, 22 to go. 3 down, 22 to go. .330 down, 21:30 left to go. A good race between John Blaze and Brian Bostic for the number 5 spot. That is definitely the closest race on the track. Guys are all over each other, trying to keep it clean. There's Jason Treffler out front, 4-second lead over Christian Towick. 4.5 back to Chad Phillips, 7.5 back to Anthony Mazzara, 6 seconds to John Blaze. John and Brian glued together. Joey Trey Montana, 7 seconds back. 2 seconds to Steven Placas. 4 seconds to BB Cruz. 8 seconds to Carlos Cruz. 2.5 to Carlos Fontan. 4:30 down, 20:30 left to go. Five down, 20 to go. 5 down, 20 to go. 4.5 second lead for Jason over Christian. 4 seconds back to Chad. 11.5 back to Anthony. 3.5 back to John. 1.5 back to Brian. 10 seconds back to Joey. 1.5 back to Steven. 3 seconds back to Beatty. 11.5 back to Carlos Fontan. 1 second back to Carlos Cruz. 5:30 down. 19:30 left to go. Six down, 19 to go. 6 down, 19 to go. 5-second lead now for Jason Schreffler over Christian Towick. 12 seconds back to Chad Phillips. Nope, wrong column. 7 seconds back to Chad Phillips. 14 back to Anthony Mazzara. 3.5 back to John Blaze. 7.5 back to Brian Fostick. 4 seconds to Stephen Placus. 5 seconds back to BB Cruz. 1 second to Joey. 12.5 back to Carlos Cruz. 2 seconds back to Carlos Fontan. We're coming up on 7 down, 18 to go. We'll start coming into those pit stops for the first round. Right now. 7:30 down, 17:30 left to go. Jason just made his stop. See how that shakes out. I guess he didn't. 8 down, 16 to go. 8 down, 16, whatever. 17 to go. It says 16:45, so it's 8:15. There you go. Nine down, 16 to go. You guys are all beyond help. Tell them, Rohan, they're beyond help. No help for them. See what kind of shake-up we got as we cycle through the last couple pit stops here. Coming up on 9:30 down, 15:30 left to go. Here's Jason Schreffler out front, 10-second lead over Chad Phillips. 10 seconds back to Christian Towick. 19 seconds back to Anthony Mazzara. 3 seconds back to John Blaze. 7 back to Stephen Placus. 9 back to Brian Fostick. 7 back to BB Cruz. 23 back to Carlos Cruz. I'll just shake it down a little bit now. We're going to have to switch up in the back. No change in the top 7. Ten down, 15 to go. Christian jumping down on the front stretch, guys. Watch it. Careful. Clear. Nice job, Alan. $11 down, 14 to go. 11 down, 14 to go. 13-second lead now for Jason over Chad. 10 seconds back to Christian. 26 back to John Blaze now up to the 4. Half a second back to Anthony Mazzara. 8.5 back to Stephen Placus. 7.5 to Brian Fosdick. 9.5 to BB Cruz. 19 back to Carlos Cruz. 25 back to Joey Trey Montana. Half a second to Carlos Fontan. 11:30 down, 13:30 left to go. $12 down, 13 to go. 12 down, 13 to go. The closest race on the track is between John Blaze and Anthony Mazzara for that number 4 spot. 1.3 seconds. Jason comes by Anthony to put the 4th place driver 1 lap down to top 3 now on the lead lap. Actually, probably put 2 laps on Anthony. It looks like Anthony is a lap behind Christian for the number 3 spot. So Jason now behind Christian to try and put the 3rd place driver 1 lap down. Jason makes the move, so now top 2 on the lead lap. $13.30 down, 11:30 left to go. $14 down, 11 to go. 14 down, 11 to go. So closest race on the track is between Anthony and John for the number 4 spot. 1.2 seconds separating those 2 drivers. Buggy Amain is up next. Have them ready to go, guys. Last main of the day. $14.30 down, 10:30 left to go. Track closing the gap a little bit now, and Jason. 7-second lead for Jason over Chad. 15.5 back to Christian. 35 back to Anthony. 1.7 to John. 6 seconds back to Stephen Placus. 26 back to BB. 3.5 back to Brian. 34 back to Carlos Cruz. 5.5 back to Joey. 20 seconds back to Carlos Fontan. 15:30 down, 9:30 left to go. 16 down, 9 to go, drivers. 16 down, 9 to go. 7-second lead for Jason Trepler over Chad Phillips. 18 back to Christian Toic. 35 back to Anthony Mazzara. 6.5 back to John Blaze. 3.5 to Stephen Placas. 26.5 back to BB. 15 back to Brian Fostick. 17. Actually 27. 27 back to Joey. 2.5 back to Carlos Cruz. 21 back to Carlos Fontan. 6:30 down, 16:30 down, 8:30 left to go. We're gonna start coming into our last pit stop window here. $17 down, 8 to go. 17 down, 8 to go. Five and a half second lead for Jason over Chad. 25 back to Christian. 36 now back to Anthony. 4 seconds back to Stephen Placas. A half a second to John Blaze. 42 to BB. 8 seconds back to Brian. 28 to Carlos. Funny how separated by a lap. Coming up on 18 down, 7 to go. Coming up on 18 down, 7 to go. $18.30 down, 6:30 left to go. 8.5 second lead for Jason over Chad. 29 back to Christian. More than a lap back to Anthony. 3.5 from Anthony to Stephen Placas. 7 back to John Blaze. A lap back to BB. 6 seconds back to Brian. But he all separated by a lap as it's followed by Carlos Cruz, Carlos Fontan, and Joey Trey Montana. Up on 19 down, 6 to go. $19.30 down, 5:30 left to go. Closest race on the track is 1.4 seconds separate Anthony Mazzara and Stephen Placas for the number 4 spot. $20 down, 5 to go. 20 down, 5 to go. Closest race on the track, Anthony to Stephen, 1.7 for that number 4 spot. Close race 2 between BB and Brian, 2.2 seconds separating those two drivers for the number 7 spot. $21 down, 4 to go. Roll in. You gotta be on a pivot. Help him. $21.30 down, $3.30 left to go. 8-second lead for Jason over Chad. 32 back to Christian. 35 back to Anthony. Half a second back to Steven. 11 back to John Blaze. More than a lap back to Brian. 1.5 back to BB. Followed by Carlos Cruz, Carlos Fontaine, and Joey. They're all separated by more than a lap. 22 down, 3 to go. 22 down, 3 to go. We're keeping these guys busy. 22.30 down, 2:30 left to go. 7.5 second lead for Jason over Chad. Some more than a lap back to Christian. Steven Placas now up into that 4th spot.
Two minutes left.
More than a lap behind Christian. 4.5 back to Anthony. 6 seconds. Oh, John now getting by Anthony for that number 5 spot. That's your closest race on the track. And nose to tail going down the pit side for the number 5 spot. 23.30 down, 1:30 left to go. 4.5 second lead for Jason. Chad closing the gap a little bit on him. Looks like more than that now. A close race between John Blaze and Anthony Mazzara as they come
1 minute left.
For the number 5 spot. $45 seconds left to go. Second lead for Jason out in front of Chad. 30 seconds back to Christian. 36 to Steven Placas. 11 back to John Blaze. Half a second back to Anthony Mazzara. There's your top 6. 20 seconds left to go. Wow. They get a little racy on the backstretch. Oh, they get all tangled up. Help them. It's going to be a race to the line here for that spot as that is time.
Chad Phillips done. John Blaze done. Anthony Mazzara done. Joey Tramontana done. Christian Toic done. Brian Fallstick done. Steven Placas done. Jason Schreffler done.
BB is coming around. And
Bibi
Carlos
Cruz done.
Fontaine. Everybody's going to be done here.
Carlos Fontaine done. All drivers are finished.
So